almost everything that happens here happens in New York, but on a much larger scale. So the same thing applies to any other crime, but purses, I mean, I think that we're still a little naive to some of the things that go on.
I could fill you in.
Some people go downtown to, to the clubs, and they think they're doing something good when they put their purse in the trunk of the car, but the bad guy's just sitting across the parking deck watching you and knows that all he's got to do is break into the car and hit the button, and he has, everybody's purse. We don't have as much like they have up north, purse snatching and things like that. What we have is you're going through a grocery store, a department store, and you leave it unattended, it'll probably be gone.
On the shopping cart, which is
Right.
a crazy thing. I see that so many times in the supermarket.
Right.
It's just amazing.
And I like that because I want people to be able to trust other people and live without fear.
It's not going to happen.
And but I mean, there are people that, like I said earlier, that want to take what you have, and we got to learn to protect it. And,
I'll give you one you haven't heard of yet, I bet you. Crowded elevators, razor blade. Slit it and take the wallet out.
I haven't seen that. We've had we had a group come up. We've had a group come up 85 and hit most of the hospitals. And what they would do is go on an elevator, drop something, and an elderly person would bend over and they would pickpocket them while they were in the elevator, things like that. But they were probably heading back up north when they did that.
Oh, maybe going down south.
Depends on what time of year it is.
So what's the takeaway on this? What kind of prevention can we offer to our viewers on this?
Well, I mean, there's some very simple things you can do. Just as simply going to wbbb.org and just checking on unfamiliar companies there before you do business with them. And I mean, that's not just Charlotte-based companies. These are companies across the United States that are all in this single database. As Sergeant Bowling said, the police department uses it when they're checking on companies too. That it's a great resource and it's free. You can just go on at your leisure and check different companies out, especially if you're going to be doing any business online. If you're going to be making a purchase online, just click over to bbb.org and find out what other people's experience has been with that company.
So you could just put a business name in. I mean, they can have a different business name.
True, but
you have scams by categories?
We do, and you can search by type of business as well if you don't know the company's specific name. And also on the website is all of our recent news releases that we're trying to keep people up to date on what the latest scams, what those latest scams are. So just take a few minutes, what scammers really, especially on the financial side, what they really prey on is they want to catch you when you're hot. They want it when they got you on the phone, they want to get that credit card number now. They don't, and if you say no, show any resistance, they'll hang up and go on to the next one. So show resistance.
So just by asking a few questions, you're going to give some resistance to them and they'll just stop.
Yeah, you're going to put them off their game and they'll just go on to the next one.
I notice that when you get the telemarketers and they ask you for your phone number, then you ask them for their phone number and they say no and they hang up and that's the end of it.
That's it.
Yeah, any kind of resistance. What's the takeaway that you can offer us?
I think the easiest thing that we tell people is don't give your information away. I mean, identity theft is still one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes in America. And no bank is going to send you an email to ask for your Social Security number, or your credit card number, or your bank account number. No bank's going to call you on the phone and ask you for those things. So when people are asking for your personal information, don't give it to them unless either you've called them, you've typed in the right website, or you've gone to them. And don't, I said this at a meeting we had the other day, your Social Security number, it's not what it originally was intended for. It is now the key to your financial resources. And that number should be protected as if it's one of your children, because if they get that, they can do anything you can do with that, with your number. They can open an account. We've had people in Charlotte buy houses, buy 18-wheelers, buy cars. Whatever you can do, they can do. So that number, always question why someone needs it.
We just had this conversation with the previous guest because we were talking about internet-based businesses, and I was paying a Macy's bill online by check, legitimate Macy's website. And the last question they asked me was for the Social Security number to pay with a check-free account. And I never, ever had to give a Social Security number to pay by check before. I just closed the page out, which is the best thing to do. And I then called up Macy's and said, yeah, we do ask for that. And I said, that's crazy. And she said, you're the second person to call me today. I said, well, That's a no-brainer. I mean, you just don't put your social security number to pay by check. Makes no sense. Bad enough you give them the check number, your account number, all that information. So I have to now I have to monitor my account to make sure that there's no problem. But I just closed the page out because it just didn't feel right. And I guess that's what I tell people. If you get a bad feeling about it, you just don't do it. If you get a bad gut feeling that it just doesn't make any sense, you don't do it.
And we try to counsel businesses as well that don't ask for information that you don't need. You know,
Right.
They don't need your social security number for that. And, you know, any number of transactions that take place.
That actually can lead to fraud, can't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely can. I mean, it should be a secure
I mean, a
site.
part of the business. In other words, the business can be accused of something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's no reason why they would need that information, and so we try to counsel them that if you don't need it, don't ask for it.
Right.
Right. Some other things, just real quick, mail. You know, if you're mailing out checks or bills, take them to the nearest blue mailbox and drop them in the postal mailbox instead of your mailbox. We call the flag that everybody puts up. It's not really to notify the mail person that you have
that's
mail.
great,
It's called the Steal Me flag. It lets the bad guy know that you've got something
that
in
happen?
there. Oh, every day. Every day there's mail stolen in Charlotte.
And that's usually a check going out with all your financial information,
right.
with a copy of the credit card information. And
All they need is that check, and they can counterfeit checks all day until you realize that your account's been compromised. And then really just shred. I mean, if you don't have a shredder, look for free shredding in your community, and shred anything that has your personal financial information on it before you throw it out in the trash, because people go through trash every day also.
so now, you said free shred in your community. Can you actually take your materials down to, let's say, the police department? Will they shred it for you?
Well,
Let's say Cornelius or Mooresville, will they do it?
Huntersville, Davidson, in Charlotte, we have several a year. We usually post them on our website. If we're going to do one, the Better Business Bureau, and we do shredding events with them.
Is that right?
They'll be posting.
I've never heard of that. That's
Right.
great. That's a great idea.
We'll post it on their website. But I think last year we probably did 8 total event. Huntersville had one at their National Night Out, and that was back in August. I'm sure they'll have another one this year.
And if you put stuff in your fireplace, don't forget to light the fire.
Right.
That's a great thing. Well, Tom, this has really been great. I really thank you very much for coming down, and Sergeant
pleasure.
Bowling, I really appreciate you coming. This has really been helpful, and I've learned a couple of things today, and hopefully our viewers have as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.